In 1586, the most powerful woman in England wasn't the Queen, it was this Catholic noblewoman, the Countess of Shrewsbury, who also happened to be the most wanted woman in England. And she had the most dangerous job in the kingdom, being a double agent working for both the Queen and the Pope. See, when Elizabeth came to power, she established a new state religion, essentially making England a Protestant country. But she also had to keep tabs on them and report back to the Queen on their activities. And to make things even more difficult, the Queen's spymaster, Sir Francis Walsingham, was determined to find out who was supplying these priests with food and shelter. The secret that the Queen's spy was playing both sides, keeping England safe while also trying to undermine it. He suspected the Countess, but he needed proof. But there were still a lot of Catholics in England, including the Countess, who didn't want to convert. But they weren't expecting what they found. The Countess was so careful, so precise. In her movements, they reported back to Walsingham that it was impossible to tell if she was a traitor or not. And so he decided to let her go, which meant that Elizabeth had no idea that her spy was also a traitor. And the Queen would reward her with money, gifts, and even knighted her in 1593. But the Catholics got wind that the Countess was a double agent, and so the Pope calls her up and demands that she spy on the Queen too. And now she has to walk a very dangerous line. And so she lived a life of quiet rebellion, praying secretly in her own chapel and only using her influence to help Catholics get ahead. Which, for the Queen's spy was actually really helpful because it gave her access to every important person in the country. She could listen in on conversations and even intercept letters. And the Queen knew it. She just turned a blind eye because the Countess was so useful. The Countess would regularly send the Queen intelligence on the Spanish and French Catholics who were plotting to overthrow her. She had to play the part of the rebellious Catholic, attending Mass in secret and harboring priests who were on the run from the Queen's spies. So he sent his spies to follow her, recording every single one of her actions. And so it went on until the Countess died in 1592, and it wasn't until much later that the truth came out. You can learn more about the Queen's spy and other fascinating figures from history through additional resources.